Hello to my Scorpios. This is Queen Amun Ra coming to you with your general reading. Scorpios, the moon is in Taurus. We're coming to an end of a cycle of duality, right? We started out with a new moon in Gemini. New moon in Gemini. Someone, what I'm getting already, is someone very close to you who has become very close to your family member. They're about to see a dark side of you that they never thought would ever come out. And I don't want to start the reading off necessarily in that way, but this is what's coming to me. And I feel like you, Scorpio, can handle it. So the waning crescent moon in Taurus is a time for grounded release, emotional stillness, and preparing for a fresh start by letting go of attachments to comfort, security, and material habits. Taurus brings earthy, sensual, and stability-focused energy, making this moon phase ideal for releasing resistance, clearing emotional clutter, and connecting with your values. Now, Scorpio's card is the Death card, and you're ruled by the Judgment card and also the Tower card, right? Something about what a lot of people don't realize about Scorpios is once you all get fixated on something as a fixed sign, it doesn't leave fixed signs. You know what I'm saying? You get fixated on wanting to know something. You want to get to the bottom of something. It just doesn't leave you. You can try, you try to move on. Something just like, some keep nagging at you till you feel like you've gotten to the bottom of something, right? Especially if you tapped into the Scorpio in your birth chart. Scorpios are receptive. High vibrating Scorpios are passionate, resourceful, and brave. Low vibrating Scorpios are jealous, secretive, and obsessive, right? And somebody couldn't figure out for the life of them why, as sweetheart of your energy is, and I know that's going to be odd for some people to hear about Scorpios, but if you're a person who ever been around a high vibrating Scorpio, then you know you've seen the best of them. Like you've seen the ride or die, and I don't really like that term, but y'all know what I'm saying. Like Scorpios can be fixed on, like, I'm gonna be your friend to the very end. I almost kind of sound like a Chucky doll, but y'all know what I'm saying. You get the point, right? Very passionate, very resourceful, brave. Basically, will go to the end of the earth for you. Will just, anybody who's ever been been around a high vibrating Scorpio gets the point. What I'm saying. But there are dark Scorpios who people are like, oh my God. Those are sometimes the people that I've talked to that's be like, they on the phone crying. Sometimes I'm like, okay, was Scorpio did something? you know. But anyway, getting to your reading, the moon being in Taurus, there's a family member I'm picking up on. And this is not specifically a Taurus, just so we're crystal clear. But you're making some kind of a connection with an energy. And the connection is going to be made outside, right? While you're walking through a park, some kind of download where somehow water is going to be involved, or moonlight, or something, because water has the moon has an affinity with water, right? So it could be right around the ending of this cycle, right? We're closing out this cycle, right? You could have already started getting some revelations about some things. It could be closer to new moon. You may have started picking up on something already about a particular family member that you may have been hanging out with. Just picking up on their energy, because your psychic abilities, now that we're in this year 9, and people are starting to become a little bit more comfortable with talking about things they couldn't talk about years ago without people saying, oh, that person needs their head examined, what's wrong with them, so on and so forth. I feel like you're going to find out something that, had it been the average person, this 10 of baskets came out in reverse, right? This is 10 of cups. That's going to let you know you have been contaminated by a lot of people in your family. And they've almost made you look bad, right? You lost somebody. That's why this 10 of Cups and 10 of Baskets came out in reverse. You lost somebody and have been grieving that energy for a long time, whoever you are. You may come from a family where people, you know, you may have lost a lot of loved ones or whatever, but you've been grieving for a long time. And something about that moon in Taurus, which is your polarity sign, being around family for you may have felt like, okay, I just need to be around family. I need to keep family close. But actually, the energy who transitioned has been showing you who played a role, like literally in somebody's face, has been showing somebody who has played a role in them no longer being here. You all are in very intense zodiac sign. So let's get into this reading. I'm going to use the Hoodoo deck and I'm going to use the Light Seers deck for this. Yeah. So let's start out with the intention. Let's set the intention here, Scorpio. Let's set the intention. Because you've been looking through the lens of something in a way that, because you've been contaminated, you've been pouring out to family. Somebody has been pouring out to family lately, or just like been pouring out to family. Just been just pouring out and pouring out and pouring out to family. And these energies have been, it's like sitting around people who all know something, but just don't say anything. This is what Mars, the Tower card, is what you and somebody else have in common. Which you and somebody else have a lot in common in your family. Sitting around a bunch of people who know some stuff and won't tell anybody anything. They just know, just sitting there. And your detective skills are coming out. Stop dating people that represent your shadow self. You healed. Right? Mm-hmm. Something about dating somebody you used to date or was married to in the past, and seeing the darkest side of them is going to show you the darkest side of somebody that you've become close with in your family. You become close to them. And I'm talking about like now y'all are close. Y'all are close. Because they're going to tell on themselves. They're going to tell on themselves they did something. They did something that a loved one who passed over. The reason why it wasn't so clear before is because the Judgment card is the outermost planet, but something generational has been going on for years. Has been going on for years in somebody's family, where people be crossing all kinds of boundaries and lines. Like people's siblings don't have a problem flirting with other people's spouses, and that been passed down, or just inappropriateness all over the place, right? So something about somebody you either dated or was married to, it's going to be whatever their zodiac sign was. You're either hanging out with somebody's sun sign that is that, or their moon sign that is that. But something having to do with, like, source needs you to physically see something in your face, because your gifts, like, you're really awakening to your gifts now that something is over. You're awakening to your gifts. You're reawakening, not just awakening, but reawakening. 855. Something having to do with a fire sign, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, two of them, and just how they're built. Something about some energies. These are your family members, right? That you were sort of looped in with. Now, you and Aries are the only signs that are ruled by the same planet. That's Mars. But you're having a total recall of how karmic cycles are. Like, people can get looped into karmic cycles. So follow me with this. Whoever you either dated or was married to, right? That you may not talk to anymore. You may not even deal with them anymore. You could deal with their kids or somebody else that's somehow connected to them. whatever, but you don't deal with them anymore. And you may not deal with this energy that you were either married to or dating, because I'm seeing this right here. The Ten of Baskets, like, see all these people standing around, everybody was family, smiling, and all this, but it's turned upside down. Everything is poured out. You're done. You're just, I'm done. Now I'm focused, right? But you being out in the sunlight is going to remind you of how two energies are built. Like two energies are built. It's going to be like, you know what? Remember, the sun exposes the moon, right? Somebody's going to say, you know what? These energies are exactly alike. They're exactly alike. They're literally obsessed with secrets. They're obsessed, but they are always trying to create a distraction. These two energies are obsessed with trying to calling themselves exposing other people's secrets when they got a lot of secrets. But remember, the enemy is the author of confusion. But see, that's where your detective skills are getting ready to pick up. That's where you're really about to kick in. That's where they're about to kick in, right? There's something about somebody you either dated. It's what you and somebody have in common. Y'all have a lot in common. And this is why Source is trying to balance you out to start speaking up sooner and not just sitting back waiting for information to come to you, because sitting around these energies and pouring out something has gotten somebody nowhere. Just everybody sitting around like they got feathers from a, like they got a Tweety bird caught in their mouth. They're not just sitting around there saying nothing. So this card right here, Love Abundantly, you're going to be donating your time. This is a call to action. If something has put a fire up under you to get focused. The love you have in your heart can be shared with those around you. Where can you demonstrate love to someone who doesn't feel any, right? Because you've already poured out to these energies, right? And guess where they got somebody? Nowhere. These are family members, right? Your guides want you to donate some time today to a person or an organization that would benefit from the abundance of love you have in your heart. Sign up for a local beach cleanup, reach out to an elderly neighbor, or offer to babysit for someone. Any loving action counts. Anybody that has had the benefit of having a high vibrational Scorpio in their life has hit the jackpot for real. Um, Source is just trying to tell you, somebody is trying to show you something through their lens. They have been trying to show you for a long time, because 10 means the end of something, right? But you are going to be bringing judgment down on somebody in a way that they're going to understand how intense something was for you. But this is going to be you and somebody, how intense something was for you. Wheel of Fortune. And you're going to feel very fortunate that somebody who is in love with you is very, very focused. Very, very focused. Very, very focused. Something about this energy is an escapist. They're overly idealistic. They're vague. Right? Lazy. Um, Let's get into this. But something about you, you're walking with someone. This is what I'm saying in the spiritual realm. Like you're walking through the park with someone. You are, but remember, the eyes are windows to the soul. So whoever this loved one that transitioned, you're carrying them with you wherever you go, right? Because something ended. Something ended with them. Maybe they don't come around as much anymore, or maybe they've transitioned in the physical sense. But something has been pretty intense for you, right? And you love abundantly. And so now somebody is saying, I got to now find something else to do. I got to now donate my time. I got to do this. I got to do that. But something has ended, right? The energy that somebody could be walking around with right now, this is not somebody that you would have been connected to for a long time, okay? This is somebody that you could have recently, like I would say, like within the last maybe 5, 10 years, could have whatever. I'm saying 5 here, 5 to 8 years. Maybe y'all, maybe getting even more focused within the last 5 years, right? Or maybe 10. Who knows? 10, or coming up on 10 years. Who knows? But I would say let's say 5 to 10 years. Y'all do the math, right? But it's not going to make it to 10 years because somebody has been trying to show you through their lens, whoever transitioned has been trying to show you that this energy had something to do with their ending. Had something to do with their ending. And this wheel is now come back around. So something was fated to happen, meaning that it was meant for you to be away from this table of people after you poured out all of this, for this to end, for you to be staring right in the face of an energy that you had built, that you were inspiring, that you had built something with. You sitting right in their face, inspiring and motivating these energies, trying to help them to stay focused and all of this other stuff. But somebody is starting to see that these energies mirror each other. They are just alike. And that's what you're starting to remember. This is Queen of Pentacles here. Something in your spirit is almost going like like analyzing everything like with precision, because it's like you went down this rabbit hole before. Somebody is having a total recall of something. Like these energies are just alike. So if, let's say, they mirror each other, right? Meaning that, let me give somebody an example of what I mean. Doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. These are family members. So if you had a sibling, again, doesn't matter if you're a man or woman, if you had a sibling that copied every little thing that you do, they literally wanted your whole life, including your spouse. They crossed every line they could possibly cross. Nothing was going to stop them from getting your spouse. Flirting, shaking in front of them, laughing a little bit too hard at the jokes, inappropriate, touching somebody's shoulder. Man, woman, whatever. They didn't care about none of that, crossing lines, just doing the absolute most. Inappropriate. It could be somebody's child that is carbon copy that's just like them. In freaking appropriate. Like, if this is not a copy and paste that I'm sitting here looking at in my face, what in the world, was I asleep? But somebody had to see something with their own two eyes. It's like hindsight was 2020. But something is about to inspire you to put an end to something. Like put out, but the way that source is going to help you put something out, because it's what source is going to show you through, what source has been showing you through your lens, is that you have such a big heart to inspire people. You and somebody have been inspiring these same two people, same two energies, and these are family members, by the way. Y'all sat around a table inspiring them, uplifting them, pouring into them, giving them money when they needed, physical thing. Whether it was your last dime you gave these family members. Y'all did the most in giving to these loved ones, but they both played a role in a death, an unaliving, right? It could have been an unaliving in a spiritual sense, but it also could have been an unaliving in a spirit. One was a spiritual, where somebody sat around a table and poured into somebody, and one was a physical. You know, like spiritually, when you just don't want to, you just gave up on your dreams because it's just like after hearing all this toxicity as far as family is concerned, some people just say, you know what, I guess I don't even have a family. If all this backstabbing and lying is going on, all this toxicity, drinking, this would be so embarrassing to even, if somebody even knew that somebody was related to these energies. I can see why some people don't even come around family members. But what's going to be intense for you, you can ready to go down the rabbit hole. You're about to go down the rabbit hole. You're about to now start doing some digging and find out why this source specifically put me around these two particular family members at this particular, because I'm seeing a carbon copy. I remember how this family member used to copy every little thing that I did. Now I'm seeing the same exact thing that this person is copying exactly every single thing that their family member is doing. Literally everything. Something is about to send you down a rabbit hole. Ten of Cups, right? Now that something is over, right? Because this energy that you sat around and poured into told some kind of lie around music, around kids, whatever the case may be, to try to end someone's career. And I know that because of this music note and this harmony and these two women sitting here and these two kids sitting here. Now that something is over, something has ended, you're about to go down a rabbit hole and find out some information about how somebody got a whole new lease on life. That's going to be your question. How did somebody get a new lease on life? How did this energy get a new lease on life? Because you're going to be the one that's bringing judgment down. Because what you and somebody have in common in terms of your kids is music. That's what you and somebody have in common in terms of your kids. So something is about to be uncovered. Something is being brought to light that you have been grieving over for a long, long time. Because 10 is the end of something, right? So the end and there's a rebirth, there's a beginning of something else, right? And somebody has a lot of physical information. Two energies have a lot of physical information about how this energy was able to get a whole new lease on life. Because you're going to be the one that's going to call judgment. Because these two energies have been trying to mirror. It's like living in parallel universes. Remember, time is relative, but it's like living in parallel universes. It's like kind of going back in your own mind of just like, okay, this is beyond the movie single white female or single black female. This is going on beyond the number 8, which is I got to end somebody in order to be them. Like I did with an obsession. That's what's hidden in the judgment card. People being obsessed. Two people were obsessed with closing out a cycle. That was the only way they were going to get peace. They got to close out a cycle. They got to end somebody in order to be on top. Two energies felt like I got to end two people in order to be on top. And two people have more than enough information on this. In order for them to have a whole new lease on life, right? Using someone's child, they had to end two energies, right? Give me some more information, source. Give me some more information. Someone who is analytical, someone who is practical, and someone who is very loyal to you and who has been very loyal to you is going to be the one that's going to help you with something. That may be overwhelming for you. But something in your spirit said, I believed Um, because somebody had a dream about something. A Sagittarius either told you something, because I'm looking at the Wheel of Fortune here. Sagittarius told you something about somebody, and it's like, I'm not sure if I believe that or not. But now something is coming to light. This right here, the moon the sun illuminates the moon. Now something is coming to light. Now something is coming to light, right? That someone was wearing someone else's skin, right? Pretending to be someone else, right? Somebody did something for fun. They thought it was all fun and games, right? Right. To lie about, someone's romantic life, to lie about someone's creativity, to lie about somebody's kids, to lie about someone's self-expression, their hobbies, what makes them feel good. They thought it was all fun and games. To basically put somebody else in a place, like stand in place for somebody. Like basically like, okay, well, you go to court and you go stand and say, you go tell this lie in front of everybody. I got your back. I got your back. You know, pretend to be somebody that you really, really not. Constantly mirroring people's energy. Pretend to be something that you are not. Go and enlighten people. This right here, this wand. Go and enlighten people. But two energies went down a rabbit hole to find out something. One was in the spiritual realm, one was in the physical realm. In hindsight, you'd have walked away from some energies. In hindsight, you're now saying, I wish I would have walked away from these energies. Somebody wish they would have gone into, like somebody would have stopped talking to two energies in hindsight, because somebody got looped into something because somebody kept talking to certain energies. Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, whoever the energies are, they are impulsive, aggressive, impatient. They are tactless, restless, and irresponsible. Or they are arrogant, stubborn, and domineering. But all in all, it was very overwhelming for someone's child, right? Or someone's children, right? Just overwhelming. But they wanted a brand new lease on life so bad that they would tell somebody, we got your back if you would just lie, right? So now a team has been put together, made somebody feel like they weren't a part of a team when they were never a part of a team. They had no authority before they even knew what hit them. They wish they had walked away from something before they even knew what hit them. They had no authority. So by the time they figured out what the heck was going on, something was already done. Let's see what else is going on here. And it was done during Saturn return. So Saturn return usually happens when somebody's 10th house is involved. That's someone's career, their life goals, achievement, public image, masculine side of themselves that's taking some kind of action, social status, or fame. Somebody wanted to end someone's music career, two people's music career, right? Everybody just sitting around. They got all this wealth of knowledge and wealth of information and all this. Everybody just sitting around just being poured into. Everybody had a belief about something, trying to rise above the judgment. I'm not really sure what to believe, what not to believe, and so on and so forth. But what Source was showing Scorpio in particular, that it was some energy sitting right at that table that played a role in the unaliving of somebody. They did something thinking that they were a part. I mean, it's like this is deja vu. This is generational. Something is deja vu, generational. So it must be somebody's geographical area where people live in, where people they want to be a part of a team. They feel like they're a part of a team. They feel like they're being told that they're going to be a lead of a team, or they're going to be putting something together, or whatever the case may be. And you got some energies in there that are so obsessed with keeping a secret. It's almost like somebody saying, if you really want to be a part of this team, we're going to have something on you that we can keep a secret just so so you won't walk away, right? We got something on you so that you can't walk away. That other people would judge you, that we have the power to end your career. We have the power to end your career, right? So in other words, your card is the death card, which is the eighth card. We all chained to this. Everybody sitting around the table, we're all chained to this. Everybody chained together. Right. Now something is over, but source needs you to see something else connecting you to music. It could have something having to do with music where someone is physically not here, is now saying, okay, I need you to see something through a different lens now. Now that this is over, I need you to see something through a different lens, because this is what you and somebody else have in common. This is the reason why, because source is bringing you and somebody together, okay, to create a divine bond, right? Here's the Three of Cups here, so that y'all can talk. But spiritually, y'all have been talking. Whoever this energy is, spiritually, y'all been talking, right? It may sound like to people that y'all talking about each other behind y'all backs, right? But spiritually, y'all have been talking. You and somebody have been talking spiritually. Because both of y'all talk almost like the same language, like, okay, the Lion of Judah, God got my back. If nobody else had my back, God got, that kind of talk, right? But if something goes deeper than this, where you all have had to learn how to rise above the judgment of people questioning your sexuality, of pouring out to family members who know things but don't say anything. They all sitting around with their eyes bugged out, knowing stuff and won't say a thing. Who's sleeping with whose husband or whose wife or who's whatever. Look, and this, or who got the side chick or the side boyfriend, and who's stepping out and who's marriage. Like, all these people sitting around the table know everybody's secrets, but everybody's sitting there looking like, okay, well, I thought somebody else was going to tell somebody. All it is, but something else is going on. Something else, a whole lot more sinister, is happening here. Here's a 3 and the 7 of Swords. They all sitting around talking about people's divorce, surgeries, heartbreak, all of this stuff that was being poured into somebody. Somebody was just sitting there in the physical realm, because guess what? It's family, right? This right here. So, this 3 and 7 of Swords is 10 of Swords, right? Usually 10 of Swords is like the end of something. This energy that you sat around a table with these group of people right here is going to tell on themselves. I'm telling y'all are going to be walking together somewhere outside, and that's going to be their way of trying to make some kind of connection. They won't even be able to help it. Even if they watch this video and try to stop themselves, this is your family member now. They so busy trying to make a connection because they don't want to do the work. They don't want to have to work for this reputation. Like, they don't want to get their hands dirty. They don't want to have to be, people talking about them behind their backs. Like, this is the type of energy that's so lazy. It's a family member. It's so lazy. Like if you're a person, like y'all, like I said, y'all are intense. Emotionally, you can handle a lot. So if somebody said that you did whatever they said, you didn't talked about up, down, sideways, this way and that way. You don't care at this point. You're like, okay, I already poured out. Say what you got to say. I just want to get up and walk from the table. Somebody else is the same way. Somebody else in your family is the same way. You don't care, like whatever. Um, but it seems like um, something seems like y'all are enemies, right? But there's a fire energy that sparked this Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius when y'all are actually more alike than you realize. Okay. So that's what energies will do, come in and strike a match and keep people apart from each other, family members apart from each other with a bunch of drama. Like they joking about people's love lives. They all sitting around, they was dating so and so, or somebody looked better than somebody. Like all of this low vibrational teenage mess. Who looks better? Whose house is better? Who has the bigger square footage? This kind of stuff. These type of energies like to keep that low vibrating conversation going on. Whose kids are the better, better at music, or oh, we know we got to cut. Ain't nobody know about somebody's cousins or this family member or that family member until some gossip came into play. These type of energies love to keep mess going in families. Love it. But if it comes down to helping somebody, like if somebody lost a job and they say, "Oh, is your job hiring?" Oh no, they not hiring. Knowing good and well, they not even checking to see. They ain't helping nobody do nothing, right? Something had to come full circle. What I mean by this is that this energy is so obsessed with following somebody to the ends of the earth for real. Just like somebody followed you to the ends of the earth, they end up telling on themselves by their actions. And they're going to tell you because all the death magic that they've been into, this dark moon magic, isn't working. And it's not going to work because it's all been brought to light. They relocated, they moved, they literally followed somebody around the world. They followed two energies around the world. Wherever they go, they make sure they follow people around the world. They just like it's like a magnet. They just gotta stay connected in some way, shape, in a very unhealthy obsessed way, right? By any means necessary. Any means necessary, right? They want somebody to meet a demise behind closed door. They so used to their dark magic working. Sources saying it ain't gonna work this time. But what they gonna tell you, Scorpio, is gonna cause you to bring judgment down on them. They won't even be able to help it. It's like sources gonna snatch it out their mouth. That's the because somebody already knows what they did to their child and they already ready for them. They ain't, let's trust. Trust and believe. They not worried about this. They trust. They not worried about that. That was already taken care of. They ain't worried about that. Ancestors already they've already clotheslined them. And they don't have to listen. When I tell you this, that's already a done deal. Nobody's worried about this because this energy is thriving so much so in their community already that they already been alerted to everything. That's how covered they are. This energy, these two copycat energies have brought so much shame to your family, whoever you are, that they are just an embarrassment to the entire family. Now this again, you rising above judgment. This ain't just normal stuff. This is not just normal stuff. Okay, somebody failed out of college. Okay, they dropped out of college. Okay, people do that every single day. They go find themselves. Okay, whatever. These energies are into some dark, dark stuff. They want the fast life so bad by any means necessary, Scorpio. They're willing to do anything to anybody to get it. Meaning that if you had a spouse, this is your family now. This is what a lot of people, family members have in common because you're about to find out you're related to somebody. Somebody is about to also find like they related to somebody they didn't even know they was related to. This is why the death magic isn't working, because it was meant for you to meet somebody that you probably already met and were like, I didn't even realize we was related. OMG. Look, something is going to happen real fast because it's too much you have in common, right? Somebody is so mad. That's why whoever this energy is, they want you to go out with them at night. They always want you to go out with them at night because they into dark moon magic and it's not working. They have been trying to do death spells on somebody. They learned this from whoever was copying you. Even if you don't talk to them anymore, that's where they learned it from. Anything that has to do with, they're a quick study when it comes to dark side of stuff. They're a real quick study when it comes to that. Something that requires some high vibrating light, enlightening people, and let me help you with this, and let me help you with that. They don't want to hear that. That take too long. They are impatient. They are very impatient. They're impatient. They're aggressive. They're impulsive. But somebody been waiting on them. Like I said, I'm gonna bring it back around here. Somebody, I don't know who somebody may have dated in the past or was married to in the past, but whoever this energy is, their energy was so overwhelming for you. You was just like, I'm done with this. I poured out everything I could do in this relationship. I'm so done. Okay, I'm done. I'm done with them. I should have walked away a long time ago. That is the zodiac sign, either their sun or moon sign, that is going to tell on themselves. And whoever transitioned has been trying to show you something for years. This energy is a copycat spirit. They morph into whatever is easiest for them because they want fast everything. They want everything fast, fast, everything in a microwave, fast. Anything somebody been working hard for, something having to do with a motorcycle. Something having to do with a motorcycle. They had something to do with something. They called somebody a nightmare. You and somebody a nightmare. Knight of Swords here. They always want something to happen fast. Fast, fast, fast is happening. Lover's card. You be making a decision. Some kind of a partnership in business and or in love is coming across your path. And if you're already in a romantic relationship, then obviously you're not getting into another one because you ain't trying to do all of that. That's too much. And y'all know there's too much energy. But it could be a partnership in business, but you'll be making a decision. Somebody is now realizing, okay, I'm not looking down on people anymore. These psychic gifts are real. I need to rise above the judgment and stop acting like, okay, psychics are crazy. Somebody is telling on themselves. But I'm telling y'all gonna be walking around a park or somewhere, and this energy is going to come straight out their mouth and say something directly to you that's going to be like, I know they did not say what I thought I heard them say. But for you, because emotionally, something is not going to be a shock for you. They won't be able to tell. They won't even see something coming. They won't even see something coming. It's going to be that fast. This going to be that fast. That's going to be the power that you're going to learn. That's what you have in common with somebody who has learned how to just move on through storms. I'm telling you, that's what you have in common. It's something going to happen real fast. Because somebody was reading something almost like, okay, somebody talking about you behind your back, something is confusing, this is toxic, blah, blah, blah. But you got to remember, as a Scorpio, once you're around high vibrating Scorpios that flush their water out on a regular basis, like, that's your moon, you find out what your moon sign is, right? Find out what your moon sign is, cleanse all the time. Like, and when I say cleanse, I'm saying when you feel like your mood is getting low, when you're starting to get hangry, hungry, angry, you feel like your mood is getting low, pour into yourself so much so that you're choosing who to give the overflow to, right? You're not getting your cup full to the top. You're talking about overflow, right? So that when you're choosing to give your overflow to energies, you feel like, okay, whew, I feel hydrated. I feel good. I feel like I'm well rested. I don't feel like I'm just, half glass half full or glass half empty. I feel like I'm full, right? That's how somebody is going to stop pouring out to so many energies and really be in harmony and sync, like a perfect melody with energies, right? So when it's time to get up and walk away from energies, that you won't be having these, oh, in hindsight, I wish I'd have seen something else. Your spirit would already left the room, because this energy walked out of something that unalived someone's spirit. And somebody, a psychic, saw it in their dreams. A psychic saw it in their dreams. The three energies who showed up in, two of the energies showed up in a graduation picture, right? Two of those family members showed up in a graduation picture, right? So sometimes it takes you years to figure out something because your water is so contaminated, pouring out to so many loved ones, you can't even see it. But these family members are responsible for unaliving people's spirit, like just like snatching their souls, just in the stuff that they do. One of the energies, because they do everything in secret, intentionally did not want to be seen in a picture. hmm But they were there. That's why Source is saying it's time to start talking to people, not joining in the conversation with people who have transitioned in behind their backs. Talk to people directly. Talk to people directly. Somebody feel like had to go all the way around the world, had to go through but something happened with these three energies that now people are talking about, and these are family members that's playing a role in unaliving the spirit of people's dreams within their own family. I mean, and they're a team. They are a team. They are a team, creating all kinds of depression where people feel like their back is against the wall. They are a team. Just jealous, making people walk to work, taking people's cars and stuff away from them, just doing the absolute work, just because they want people to follow their lead. They don't feel like leaders at all. Whoever these energies are, they don't feel like leaders at all. They're sitting there wearing masking, in terms of like money, copying. So they did into everything under the sun. See this inverted triangle here on this? They're just very jealous energies. Anybody in the family that seems like they're highly creative musically or just artistically, anybody, it's you, your kids, whatever. These three energies feel like they did not inherit the gift or those gifts, right? In a physical realm. So they stay doing dark magic, secret mess, right? So it's something you're not going back to. Somebody is never going back to um, just believing anything you hear because a group of people sitting around a table talking about whatever. I'm telling you, judgment is coming down on these three. Judgment is coming down on these three, especially these two, because well, no, the other one is overwhelmed because they can't believe people's psychic gifts. They like, how the heck this energy know that they was going to be at a park with a Scorpio somewhere talking about some stuff, death magic, because that mess ain't working. That death magic mess ain't even working. They always got to do some sneaky mess and secret because they can't come up front street. They know what's up. They are not coming up front street. Whatever anxiety that you've been feeling about something is coming to an end. Yeah, they know what's up because they know your ancestors are sick and tired of family members bringing. I mean, when I tell y'all, so many people are so busy judging other people's families that they're not sweeping around their own front door. So many ancestors are so sick and tired of the hard work that they put in terms of these psychic gifts and all of these inherited gifts that they are leaving loved ones when they transition. Like you got two eyes in front in your head. You don't wear even if you wore glasses, bifocals, trifocals, you can see something for yourself. Like what the heck? Why are you doubting what you see with your own two eyes? People talking down to each other, doing this and that. Everybody just sitting around, don't see nobody crying, asking for help, people drinking, all this mess going on. Like, how are people so desensitized in their own family? What the heck is going on? People see people being jealous. Oh, that's how they always been. You know, they that's how they talk to people. Or everybody's just sitting around not doing or saying a thing. But I'm telling you, your ancestors are like, listen, we gave too many of y'all too many gifts, too many gifts. Y'all are rich in gifts. It's like people are literally sitting on vaults of wealth in somebody's family and can't even see it because of this jealousy. These three musketeers, that's what I'm gonna call them, three musketeers. They're so dripping with jealousy that they are just like these contaminating everybody sitting around the table with sex magic, death magic, all kinds of everything you can do in a dark kind of magic. That's why when people finally get away and they move on and relocate or whatever the case may be, yeah. And people thought somebody was a fool. Nah, somebody brought something to light. And people can stop being distracted and gossiping and talking about, oh, I know they ain't talking about someone. Oh, everybody got gifts. Well, then use them. Use your gifts. Use the gifts that God gave you. If your ancestors gave you some gifts, use them. Stop wasting them. Stop wasting your gifts. Get your birth chart out. Find out what your north node is and get to getting. No matter what your age is, get into your north node. Sitting around all of this talking about who sings it, all that is so low vibrational. Sacral chakra energy is developed between the ages of 8 years old and 14 years old. I know if you're watching this video, you are not between 8 years old and 14 years old because I've clicked over 18 button. Okay. I know you're not that age watching this video. So if you are over 18 years old and you still sitting around talking about who looks the best, who's this the best, who's that, whose house and all, okay, it's time to find something else to talk about because that's not paying your bills. It's just making younger people feel worthless and feeling like they left out again. We got to go through this generational curse. Yes, that's what it's making people feel like. Don't nobody want to hear who looks the best. Who cares? Put some makeup on then. Go get your hair cut. Work out. Do something. Nobody want to hear that. That is very low vibrational. Wheel of Fortune. Somebody going to feel very fortunate they're on top of things. The two people on top of things. Because for real, I'm telling you, looking at your cards here, you have a lot in common. You have a lot in common with some people. You want to be a part of the enlightened crew. I'm telling you, want to be a part of the enlightened crew. This is the pack you want to run with because the amount of emotional intelligence that you have could literally save people's lives in the spiritual realm and in the physical realm. Because sitting around these energies, sitting around here talking about nothing, nope, 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 and nope. Yeah, so you're a very powerful leader. But somebody's going to be bringing some information to you, a truth to you. That's going to help you to close out a cycle finally. That's going to help you to close out a cycle finally. Yeah. About someone's son. This energy, the moon exposes secrets, right? These energies, these three energies were all a part of a secret society, right? The reason why I kind of sort of stay away from secret societies is because everybody belongs to something that everybody doesn't know about. But all organizations are not bad, right? But you got people within certain organizations that practice dark stuff, right? They want to be associated with certain things, but if it's something that has to do with darkness, they're practicing. These energies have been practicing on family members. This energy has been practicing on family members. But see, where they really went down the wrong street is when they practice on someone else's family member who their north node is psychic gifts. That's where they really went down the wrong street. Mm-hmm. So when you and somebody have been sitting back waiting on something, that's what source is exposing to you. Is like y'all have been waiting on people who keep people enlightened. Like you say, I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting. I don't know what I'm waiting for, but I'm sitting here waiting. I'm waiting on something. I'm not sure what I'm waiting on. You were waiting. You and somebody was waiting on to become enlightened on somebody who loves just as deep as you do, who loves their family just as deep as you do. But y'all are tied together. Y'all are related. You about to find out you related to somebody. You related to two people. That is why the death magic wouldn't work. And what a day that's gonna be. So that's you about to find out you related to somebody. I mean, you talking about a reunion and talking about music and harmony and what happened and this and that and so on and so forth and yeah. And what is a mother of sticks here? Yeah. Yeah, you and somebody also has a mother that likes to keep some mess going. Child. Mm, 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 mm. So y'all could be of you know, actually, you know what his mother of sticks is, the mother of wands here. Like this energy was like determined to bring out the dark side of people. Like in the physical realm, they could have liked to keep some stuff going, like, you know, but in the spiritual realm, they're actually helping everybody. You and somebody could actually have indigenous roots. Yeah. Because somebody likes to wear headdress, like and with feathers and those kind of things. So yeah, yeah. But when they were alive, whoever this loved one is alive, because it's two loved ones on the other side that has been trying to talk to you. It's like somebody's parents are trying to talk to them from the other side. But then there's another energy, a younger person who rode a motorcycle, who has also been trying to get a message through to somebody. They've been trying to get a message through to you and somebody else to like get your. It's basically saying get your kids away from them. That's what they've been saying. Like get your if it's get your kids away from this group. These three right here. And it's almost like again when you're pouring out and pouring out and pouring out to loved ones and everybody just sitting around like you had to physically move your water somewhere in order to see it. And so something woke up for somebody and it was overwhelming for them to wake up during a Saturn return. Saturn return happens every 29 and a half years. It happens when people either relocate, go through a divorce, get married, some major life event happens. Um, you know, for somebody. And so getting all these downloads was just overwhelming. It's like somebody was just like, oh my God. But somebody felt like, okay, well, we love our loved ones so much. We're gonna hang out and we're gonna wait for them to say something. Something is gonna spill out their mouth. They're gonna come out and say something, and bam, we got it. But what somebody's going to come out and say, the energy that you was waiting on, saying you and somebody else is waiting on saying something, is not going to say what you thought they were saying, right? You're going to find out that y'all are related. You and somebody are related. The energy that you didn't think was going to say something, because remember, this stuff is inverted. The stuff that I did not think was going to say something is going to tell on themselves. Because right now, this energy over here, somebody is overwhelmed because they like, how the heck is somebody figuring out that I'm hanging out with Scorpio and we getting close? Because you're dealing with a copycat energy, just like you had in your family member. Everybody that you got close to, somebody that was copying you, same exact spirit, exact spirit. Daughter of Knives. Yep. So hopefully that makes sense to somebody. Hopefully that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, this energy was somebody thought that somebody was rude and condescending and sarcastic and impatient and domineering and insensitive and acidic and all of those things. But the reason why this energy became this, the daughter of knives, or cut a person off in a heartbeat, is because again, this energy poured out to the entire family. Everybody knew all of these secrets and didn't say anything. But the one that they came to realize, because they were getting downloads and dreams and all of that, and said, OMG. They found out like after the fact, like, like a light came on for somebody after the fact in detail. Um, but somebody's going to help you in a physical sense to see something for you, so you can see it for yourself. See something for yourself. But yeah, this energy was, they were talking about themselves, but they don't tell on themselves. This energy is something else. This energy sent somebody's son into their house to copy some information, to cause somebody to lose a whole lot of money. They caused them to start drinking, smoking stuff. You know how you see this person right here got something in their mouth? They start blowing in their face, like getting them hooked on stuff. There's some kind of innocence. Because usually when you see the six of cups, that's innocence. Like some innocence in them just was unalive. But they did something in the physical sense and in the spiritual sense. They told somebody, oh, you need to grow up. You need to grow up. Like if you had kids that cried a lot when you would leave, right? They did something that made somebody want to run away. They did something to two people's kids that made them want to run away. Maybe, got them so drunk they couldn't even see straight, or something that these karmic couples did. They did something that, so they were slick, right? But yeah, the light high priestess, that energy that's by themselves a lot. That high priestess that everybody talking about, oh, they spend so much time by themselves a lot, candles and all of this other stuff and blah, 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 blah. Again, that this energy was trying to copy. I'm trying to tell you, they already told on themselves. That's what I have for you. Y'all better watch out for them copycat family members, especially the ones that, they just want to sit back and ride off your success. But they don't have nothing going on for themselves. Nothing. Dating people like that, they don't have nothing going on for themselves. They're a fan. They're a fan of what you're doing, but they don't want to do anything for themselves. They just want to ride off your coattails. But somebody overwhelmed now because they know somebody on to them. So go and get a massage, work out the kinks, get that lymphatic system together. Because ear, nose, and throat, lymphatic system has to do with the throat chakra. We're talking about Taurus, when the moon is in Taurus like now. Yeah. Get your lymphatic system together. Reflexology, behind your head, your back, all of that. Work out all those kinks. Work out all those kinks. This energy is telling on themselves. So invite help through prayer. Invite the divine to pursue you. Seriously, just say, I'm finally ready. God, pursue me. Invite help. Invite God. That's the one. That's source. That's not a resource. God is source. Source. Tap in. Tap in. Tap in. Tap in. Tap in. You got more in common. We got something to talk about. You got something to talk about with two energies. Come on, you and somebody talking. Y'all talking. Y'all are open book. Powerful leaders. You got a partnership forming here. Somebody gonna have to come up out of that fixed energy. Somebody's source is saying to you, okay, now pour some water, pour into yourself so that you can kind of sort of break that up a little bit. Come out of this. Who looks the best? Who's this and that the best? It's not a competition. Somebody gonna have to come up out of that because something that you've been lamenting over for a long time about to be solved. If it hasn't already been solved, it's being solved right now. Everything is here. Embrace the spiritual belief that everything already exists in the here and now. Live in the present moment and be grateful for what you have. The door is open. Pure intention can open doors in the universe and make the impossible possible. Believe deeply in goodness and watch the magic happen. I'm telling you, Source is bringing it back around to humanity. All of this, who's better than, what race is better than, what gender is better than, who got more education than, so on and so on and so forth. Somebody's about to redefine family altogether. Somebody's about to say, hey, look, I know I got some family somewhere else. Ain't no way I'm sitting around talking to all of these people. They sitting around with all these secrets and know all this stuff going on, and nobody is saying anything. Oh, no. Too many people are learning that they're betrayed by the very people they grew up with. And that's not being a negative. That's just a lot of people's truth. That's not negative. That is a lot of people's truth. They're realizing that some people, they can't, all it takes is one drop. And these three energies with the three drops to contaminate, they didn't cause a generational curse through the generations. And somebody's ancestors had to get to the other side to basically light a fire up under somebody and said, okay, I need to get this energy out of here. I need to physically get this energy out of here. I need to put a fire, like make somebody mad enough. Something had to happen to get somebody mad enough to get away from the entire family. Something had to happen to make somebody mad enough to get away from the entire family and stop them from talking to family members. They need to be contaminated no more. Somebody literally stopped talking to their entire family for a reason so they can get downloads. And the whole family was thinking something else. I wonder this. Everybody's sitting around talking. I wonder this. I wonder that. Wrong, wrong, and wrong. Like one big X, just wrong. Source is saying, but you about to find out. You about to find out something. What do you want? If you react negatively to the success and joy of others, it's a sign that you want more for yourself. Don't hold yourself back. Expand your comfort zone. Embodiment. Now is the time to make your mark in the world. You decide what feels right to you. Embody your leadership power and create your world out of the deepest desires. Mm-hmm. Simplify life. Life is meant to be simple and easy. Don't let superficial energies distract you from your true essence. Simplicity and purity will lift your spirit. Yeah, you're gonna be inviting help. You be asking God, okay, God, what is the reason for all of this? What was the purpose? What was the purpose of all of this? What was the purpose of all of this? Source needed somebody to redefine the word family and being connected to family, being connected to money, your self-worth, your value, that no person is better than another person because of skin color, race, religion, spiritual belief, religious belief, whatever. That is foolish. I mean, I'm just reading a fool card. I'm not calling somebody a fool, but you know what I'm saying? So it's to stop dating people that represent your shadow self. Stop hanging out with people that represent your shadow self. Somebody is not a teenager anymore, a preteen, none of that. Yeah. Somebody has a wealth of knowledge of something that could really, really help open up some doors. I'm telling y'all, listen, something is going to happen real fast where it's going to make somebody feel like they are never going back to being around energies that sit there and just all they do is talk about who's the prettiest, who's the handsomest, who got the bigger house. Y'all breaking the generational cycle chain and curse. That's all I can tell you. So somebody's about to get into prayer mode. I'm about to touch and agree with somebody that you love, and y'all about to start praying. There's a reason why people cut people off. I'm telling you, it's a reason why people cut their family members off because they know they got family members somewhere else. Like this can't be it. It cannot be it, right? But that's what I have for you. Hopefully, this is helpful. I will see you all in the next video. Yeah. Somebody thinks that people are by themselves, and people are not by themselves. People are not all by themselves. Yeah, some people are not by themselves at all. Some people are divinely covered and protected. And people think they're on their high horse. Oh, yeah. People know they out here winning. If you can sit, if you look, if you can get up from a table of people, that's all they talking about, that low vibrating mess of who looks the best, who's got the lightest complexion or the longest hair or best, good hair. What is good hair? I mean, that's healthy hair, right? Whatever. Somebody's son was so not used to hearing so much negativity. It was overwhelming that somebody had, oh, he'd grow up here. I mean, that's just how, we just keeping it real. That was their reality, okay? Because that's what they chose. They chose to be around people like that, drinking and smoking and doing all this other mess. They chose that. But somebody's child was not raised like that. All this drinking and smoking and, drinking till you just can't even, alcohol level sky high. So, but something in them was unalive being around this energy. So, yeah. And and they either gonna tell you or you gonna see it. hmm You're gonna have an innate spiritual understanding of some things. Something is gonna make sense. Something to you is gonna make sense in a physical sense as to something about family, something about the Roman numeral V or Roman or religion. It could be like Roman Catholic. It could be V. That could be somebody's name starts with a V or ends with a V. Hierophant energy. That could be the reason why somebody is a hierophant energy, why they have are so drawn to religion because of this. That could have This would again, I feel like this what you and somebody have in common. People could think y'all are cold hearted, but y'all cut a person off in a heartbeat, child, and go get on a surfboard somewhere and replenishing that salt water. You rather talk to dolphins and fish. That is what I'm talking. That's what I'm seeing for you here in your cards. But yeah, something for you is going to be pretty intense. It's going to be very powerful. Yeah, the downloads I was getting for Scorpio was like, oh my gosh, really? Wow. Okay. Yeah, it's going to make so much sense as to. It's going to be so clear for somebody. It's like I feel like I feel like I'm gonna see somebody just kind of sitting back and just smiling and just absorb. Like after everything is kind of like gets settled, somebody just kind of sitting back like, wow, like things becoming so because think something coming to light, like just wow. In hindsight, now everything is making sense. Like everything is like coming to light. Like this is making sense. That's making sense. That's making sense. Like how, like how everything was tied together. Like how every, yeah, that's what I'm seeing here in your cards. All right. Bye.